My name is Szabo, and I work with Dr. Bronners, and I'm truly disappointed that I'm not there with you in person. I was really looking forward to joining the event and being part of the conversation, the in-person conversation. Unfortunately, some unexpected family matters came up, and I elected to cancel all my travel. I just have to be at home for the near term. And so, but thank you to Jackie for offering this opportunity to still share these thoughts around the Purpose Pledge. And yeah, I hope what follows here is helpful and and is contributes meaningfully to the discussions that you're having there locally. So let me share my screen here into presenter view. All right, so yeah, let's dive in. We have about, I think, 20 or so minutes to go through the deck. And before I forget, my email is les, at drbronner.com, drbronner.com. And if you have any follow-up questions, or if you want to chat about Dr. Bronner's or the Purpose Pledge or anything else, please feel free to reach out. All right, so we're going to just do a quick why, what, how, who, and how of the Purpose Pledge. And this is a kind of high-level summary. And if there's an opportunity to go deeper at some point in the future, if any of you are interested in potentially joining the pledge, we're officially launching at Expo West. So next month on the first week in March in Anaheim. Expo West is the big natural products expo. And if any of you plan to attend, there's going to be a lot of fantastic programming there around the pledge, educational events. You'll get to meet a lot of the pledge companies, as well as our commitment catalysts. And so if you do get a chance to visit the show, then please check out the schedule of sessions and events around the Purpose Pledge. All right. Starting with the why question, Michael Pollan, his quote is a pretty good representation of the why. He said that the industrial food system is one of the most powerful forces shaping climate change, public health, and social inequality, often in ways that we fail to see. And along these same lines, this is the Purpose Pledge why. Food and agriculture sit at the center of today's most urgent challenges, from climate instability and supply chain risk to systemic inequity and declining consumer trust. So while many companies express purpose-driven intentions, too few embed them into decisions that shape real outcomes. The Purpose Pledge exists to close that gap, moving purpose from aspiration to action. And all of the Purpose Pledge companies have agricultural supply chains. So this is our industry, and our industry is at the center of these overlapping crises. And these challenges are coming much faster and hitting harder than we even imagined a few years ago. And so we all know what's at stake. And so the real challenge is not really talking about the why. The real challenge is or creating awareness around why. The real challenge is about better execution. And for better execution, companies need better options. And for us to source these better options, we need to create systems and infrastructure that allow for these better options to emerge. And this quote is from John Doerr. He's a Silicon Valley VC and also the author of a book called Measure What Matters. He developed the OKR goal-setting framework that we're using as part of the pledge. And he's stating that execution is everything, but for execution to succeed, we need an ecosystem to support it. So in the same way, you have tech startups that have an ecosystem or infrastructure with accelerators and incubators and venture capital to help support those companies' growth and success. We're building a Purpose Pledge ecosystem of direct support for businesses moving towards being purpose-led. And so the choices a company makes around climate or zero waste or living wage should really be the most obvious and the most convenient and the most cost effective. And what we're trying to do with the Purpose Pledge is really to remove obstacles and make it easier for companies to get from point A to point B, where point B is the achievement of the commitments. And if we build this ecosystem in the right way, these cost-effective, practical, and impactful solutions will emerge. And so this is our what. The Purpose Pledge is a collaborative initiative anchored in 10 clear commitments that embed purpose into company governance, operations, and supply chains. It brings together an ecosystem of companies and allied support organizations in a collaborative, accountable community where members learn from one another and measure progress transparently. At its core, the pledge is about restoring a right relationship between companies, people, and the natural systems on which we all depend. So when we think about building out the Purpose Pledge ecosystem, we start with something a little bit closer to home, which is a company's own ecosystem. And that company ecosystem is all about relationships. And this is what we call stakeholder economics. And it's about the people and systems a company impacts most. It's customers, coworkers, suppliers, particularly farmers, its communities, the earth, and also capital providers. And so that leads to a key question, which is when a company creates value or generates profit, how is that value shared among those stakeholders? So the graphic also illustrates that these relationships aren't separate, they're all connected. And what happens with one stakeholder affects the others. So these trade-offs among stakeholders are real, and it's not always a win-win-win situation. And that's why we have to keep asking, what does fair and balanced stakeholder economics actually look like? So in answering that question, we introduced the idea of right relationship. And right relationship is really at the heart of the Purpose Pledge. We start with stakeholder economics, that's the foundation, but on top of that, we layer right relationship. And the term originates from various spiritual and wisdom traditions, and we believe it should be applied to business as well. And through the Purpose Pledge, our goal is simple: to be in right relationship with the stakeholders that matter most, our customers, our coworkers, our farmers, the communities, the earth, and capital providers. And intuitively, it makes sense, but what does it all mean in practice? What does right relationship mean in practice? So number one, it means we consider the well-being of all stakeholders. It means we treat all stakeholders with respect and dignity. It means we make decisions that are sustainable and viable over the long term. And it means we operate in the spirit of mutual benefit and reciprocity. And so right relationship really transforms stakeholder economics. It shifts us from a transactional mindset to a more holistic ethical worldview where success isn't just about profit, it's about the well-being of all of our connected stakeholders. Excuse me. And the 10 commitments put the ideals of right relationship into practice. They give us a way to measure progress toward becoming truly purpose-led. And we've worked to create metrics that are very clear, simple, and meaningful for each stakeholder. And our new website, when it launches in March, will have a downloadable version of the 10 commitments, all with all of the fine print and detail required to achieve one of those commitments. But high level, we have purpose-led governance, product quality and transparency, supply chain, supply web integrity, fair and balanced compensation, living wage and decent livelihoods, well-being and inclusion, community engagement, climate action, circularity for zero waste, and capability building. So this is how we define Purpose Pledge economics, where each of those 10 commitments ties directly back to a stakeholder relationship within the company's ecosystem. So, whoops, sorry. So with each of those 10 commitments that I just read off, they're connected directly back to one of those key stakeholders. And commitment number 10, which is capability building, touches every stakeholder, and it's the glue that connects it all. And so we have each company with its set of 6 stakeholders, but for most companies doing this work, it really is a solo journey, leaving many companies having to navigate these stakeholder challenges alone. So with the Purpose Pledge, we're building this comprehensive ecosystem of learning, mentorship, and funding to address this. But what that means is that a Purpose Pledge company, as a Purpose Pledge company, you're adding a 7th stakeholder, which is your peers. So the entire Purpose Pledge model is built on the idea of shared learning and mutual accountability in the best possible way. So you're not only in right relationship with your coworkers, your communities, etc., you're also in right relationship with your Purpose Pledge peers. And that 7 stakeholder relationship is the starting point for building out the Purpose Pledge ecosystem. So in this environment that we operate in today of shareholder primacy, our companies and our networks are really not favored by existing institutions and existing infrastructure. And that's why, in a sense, we have to build our own. And so first, we start with these icons that represent a company and its core stakeholders. And the point is that the companies are in relationship with one another. Then we have what we call commitment catalysts. And these are the people and organizations that accelerate progress on a specific stakeholder commitment. For example, we have the Regenerative Organic Alliance for supply chain integrity. We have the Change Climate Project for climate action. And we have Living Wage for Us for living wage and decent livelihoods. And then you have the orange bubble there, which is the Purpose Pledge entity itself. And it's the backbone organization that connects the dots and aligns the companies and the commitments and the catalyst support. Next comes capital orchestration. So the Purpose Fund is our financial backbone, which is mobilizing and deploying non-extractive forms of capital to help Purpose Pledge companies grow. And the vision is to offer the best possible terms and have repayment of those funds recycled in a way that supports the commitment catalysts and the build out of the entire Purpose Pledge ecosystem. And then finally, we have purpose policy, and this means shaping government action that supports purpose-led business and addresses issues like climate and regenerative agriculture and fair wages. That's an initiative that we won't really start or make a more serious effort on until 2027. Now the who question. So we have this quote attributed to Miguel de Cervantes, author of Don Quixote, who said, "Tell me who you are with, and I will tell you who you are." And it's a really nice way of thinking about the powerful impact a community can have on its members. And this is our who. These are our pilot company. Actually, not pilot companies. These are our pledge companies. And these are companies that are signing the pledge now and are going to be part of our March launch. We're targeting 25 companies. We're at 16 now, but we have quite a few that are working on their plans. So we don't anticipate it being a problem in terms of achievement of the goal of the 25 companies. We wanted to keep it small and manageable just because we don't know exactly how this sort of operating model is going to work. And we'll be adding more companies next year. But just to sort of work out systems and operations in a way that really we make sure that the companies are truly having a good experience and are getting the value that they are anticipating that they're getting from the pledge. And these are our commitment catalysts. We'll be adding to this list over time as well. And below the commitment catalyst, you have those commitment areas that they're supporting on. So I mentioned Change Climate Project. We also have TRUE for zero waste. We have EWG for product quality and transparency. ROA, the Regenerative Organic Alliance for supply web, and Planet Forward for climate action as well. And then also One Step Closer for capability building. All right, and finally, the how question, how will we do this? Yvonne Chenard from Patagonia talks about the importance of companies teaming up to solve big environmental, social, and economic problems, and that individual efforts are never sufficient. And this is our how. This is how we bring purpose to practice. And so we designed this system as a flywheel because it's a system that builds momentum over time. And so you have 4 key levers. You have embedded governance, you have shared learning, measured progress, and systemic impact. So the flywheel starts with embedded governance, meaning purpose is embedded in how decisions are made. Purpose commitments are approved at the board level and integrated into strategic, financial, and operational decision-making. And this is really what gives purpose its real authority and ensures it's operational and not just marketing driven. And from there, governance enables shared learning. So once the commitments are real, companies can learn openly with peers where they share their challenges, their evidence, and what is working, what isn't working. And this learning happens through these conversations and dialogue and practice over time. And that learning feeds into measured progress. Companies sets clear near-term targets and publicly report on both plans and progress. So measurement and transparency create true accountability, which is how we earn trust and have to build back that trust. And then finally, systemic impact. True purpose serves all stakeholders. We focus on outcomes across climate, labor, health, and economics because impact really only stays relevant if it holds across the whole system. So again, this is what makes it a flywheel. Each lever reinforces the next. The governance enables learning. The learning drives better measurement. Measurement delivers real impact. And then the impact strengthens governance over time. But the bottom line is that real transformation takes not only company commitment, but also community and ecosystem reinforcement. So finally, returning to the why question, this is a slide we've presented at employee meetings at Dr. Bronner's. This is a Venn diagram based on the Japanese concept of ikigai, which means reason for being. And it sits at the intersection of these 4 questions of what do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you be paid for? And the idea is that when these 4 align, we experience deep fulfillment and purpose. And we think there's a Purpose Pledge version of this, or a company level version of Ikigai as well. In this case, we changed up the thought questions to make it relevant for the Purpose Pledge work. Starting at the top there, we say, how can I build a lasting legacy for my company? Is the world better because my company exists? How can I be in right relationship with my company's 7 stakeholders? And how can I embed purpose consciousness into my company's operating model? And then as we close, this is a quote from Errol Schweizer, who some of you may know, is a food journalist. And this is from a Forbes article he wrote. When we launched the pilot, he said that, so while today the Purpose Pledge may seem ambitious and even aspirational, someday it may just be brass tacks, just a humble baseline for doing business in the United States and beyond. And it's a really nice closing thought. You know, what happens if we scale Purpose Pledge consciousness across our industry and across different businesses? And the companies that are involved with the pledge are really proof that it's not only possible because they're already doing it. It's already happening. And also, just one final thought is that when we talk about stakeholder economics or shareholder primacy economics, economies are really just the sum of all the enterprises that make it up. And that change, really important systemic change, doesn't happen all at once. It happens one enterprise at a time. So thank you. Let me stop my sharing here. Yeah, so I just, again, thank you for making time. I didn't mention, but I'm a bit under the weather, and you probably realize that. So I apologize. But hopefully there will be a time and place where we can connect. But really appreciate your time, and thank you to Jackie and team for allowing this sort of last minute substitution to happen. So thank you, and enjoy the summit.